And ever since Robin Van Persie left, scored his 30 goals in Alex Ferguson's final season, no Manchester United player has gone that far. Last 2 seasons, it was Wayne Rooney with just 14 goals. Then 3 seasons, it was also Wayne Rooney with 19 goals. But this season, we already have we have seen Zlatan scoring 23 and it's still counting. So that's going to show that Jose Mourinho make the right signing by bringing Zlatan from Paris to England. So kudos to them. And right now, they are already singing their song. One United, they can as well enjoy the day, then prepare for the match against Blackburn tomorrow. So I think it's great.
That'll be on Sunday.
Yeah, on Sunday. I think it's very, very great for Manchester United. For Zlatan, good for him. First hat-trick for Man United ever since he came to England. Second in European competition, and his third against Saint-Etienne. What a fantastic record from a fantastic player.
All right, looking at Manchester United, it's looking as if the assist position is really going to be difficult for them at a point for them to get out of. But as it stands right now, they're just a point adrift the 5th place. Talking about Liverpool, just 2 points behind, of course, 3rd and 4th on the lot. Talking about Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur respectively. It is going to be possible for them to get to the top 4, but right now they will be playing in the English Football League Cup final next weekend, and of course they will not be having the opportunity to get onto the Premier League to play, and of course maybe a little bit of distance will be between them when they come back in the Premier League. That will be on the 4th of March. But how about Tottenham Hotspur? I mean, when a whole lot is being expected from them, that's when they really disappoint. I mean, last season, every one of us were thinking probably they should be the one that will put more pressure on the eventual winners, Leicester City, and they drew against Chelsea, and one way or the other, they slipped and they finished 3rd in the season. And of course, Arsenal are topping them to 2nd. And then, of course, this season, they've crashed the Champions League they qualified into last season. And, of course, they lost at the weekend to Liverpool. And yesterday again, yes, it's just a good deficit, but it can be written right in their next game at White Hart Lane next week. But they are a shadow of themselves.
Yeah.
Every time we come down to this particular time of the season, Tottenham seems to know how to fizzle out.
Well, I think it wasn't easy last night because when it comes to Europa League, it's very, very difficult. It's more difficult than the UEFA Champions League because sometimes you need to travel very, very far, to play your opponent. But last night, I expected Tottenham, to get something good from that game because I think they have more experienced players than Giants. But all the same, what we saw was that Giants, went ahead to win that game 1-0. But I think they showed some flashes, of brilliance, but it wasn't just all they did was not good enough. I saw Hurricane, with some, shots on target, but the goalkeeper was very, very okay, and he kept those kept the team, in order. But all the same, I think the return leg will be in favor of Tottenham Hotspur. All they need to do is to score 2 unreplied goals, and they will move to the next stage. It's different from what Manchester United did to Saint-Etienne. 3-0, difficult in high mountain for Saint-Etienne to climb, but 1-0 for Tottenham Hotspur. I think that is something they can as well cancel out in the first 15 minutes or first 20 minutes of the return leg if they are to overturn that deficit and get to the next stage. So for Mauricio Pochettino, he's an experienced coach, and I know that he can as well get that needed result for Tottenham Hotspur and the fans. So that's not much of a problem. But all they need to do now is to ensure that they start getting points, winning games in the Premier League, because they are 10 points, behind Chelsea right now, while Manchester City are 8 points behind. So they lost to Liverpool. I saw that coming because Liverpool at the time they were not doing well, and everyone thought it was because of Sadio Mane who went to the African Cup of Nations. That was the reason they were not getting results. But against at the Anfield Stadium on that day, you expect Johnny Club boys to raise up their game and live up to expectation because they were playing against another strong team. So it wasn't a surprise that they won that game at 2-0, and yesterday also they went as far as the Giants and they lost also. So I think if they return back, they can as well start picking points, to get their confidence back. It's not really easy, but I will give Tottenham, I'll prefer them, and I'll pick them as a favorite to go into the last 16 in the UEFA Europa League. I don't see Cagents, winning that game in the return leg.
All right, let's take a look at comprehensive results of matches played over the night yesterday across different stadia in Europe. Athletic Club in Spain defeated visiting Apoel Nicosia 3-2. Punk lost at home to visiting Schalke 4 3-0 today. Like we told you, United defeated Saint Etienne 3-9. Villarreal. Awful Villarreal they were. They lost at home.
Really awful.
4-0 against visiting AS Roma at Madriga, and former Manchester City superstar Eden Zico on the hat trick. I mean, Villarreal home at the Madriga. Losing. Anyway, as Ligue 1 so played out a goalless draw against Ajax, and of course they still have that game to play. Ajax will be at home next week, Thursday. Yeah. Then Anderlecht defeated visiting Zenit St. Petersburg 2-0. Apoel Beersheva lost at home to visiting Besiktas 3-1. Rostov, that's what we're talking about. Defeated visiting Sparta Braga 4-0. Olympiacos and Osmanispor settled for a goalless draw. AZ Alkmaar, not good for them. Lost at home to visiting Lyon 4-1. Again, like we told you, defeated Tottenham Hotspur 1-0, while Ludogorets Brazza lost to FC Copenhagen 2-1. Then Celta Vigo also lost their game to Shakhtar Donetsk 1-0. Borussia Mönchengladbach also lost their game at home to visiting Fiorentina 1-0. Astra and Genk settled for a 2-2 draw. Krasnodar defeated visiting Fenerbahce. Robin van Persie couldn't really do much, did he? He couldn't. They lost that game 1-0. Now, you were going to say something about Villarreal, Eghosa.
Yeah, for Villarreal, I think they've been having a rough. They've been having it rough, in their previous games. It's not really easy. Even last weekend, their game against new promoted Malaga, they couldn't win that game. They drew that game 1-1, allowing Malaga to win the first half before they came back to equalize, in that game. And yesterday, I thought they can as well, take the home advantage, to play that game and as well as get something from that game. But AS Roma were just fantastic, and with Dzeko, playing the attack for them and all that. The other players, Nengolan, Palmeiras, the guy that scored the first goal and all that, they just got focused. I think we have some teams now who already have their deed, done already. Like Manchester United.
Okay, FC Rostov.
Yeah, Olympic Lyon. AS Roma. I think
maybe Besiktas as well. Winning 3-1.
3-1
they
away.
Should be through.
I think they should be true because
Schalke 4 also went away to win 3-0.
And Rostov as well, beating Sparta Prague 4-0. And this is the same Rostov that defeated Bayern Munich in the UEFA Champions League. Yeah, before they fed down to the UEFA Europa League. So I told you yesterday, they are full of experience, and when they are playing in front of their fans, they are always playing well. So if you look at it, about 4-5 teams right now have already settled their first leg. But all the same, football is like biscuit; it can crack anywhere. But at least winning with such margins, goes to give you that confidence that in return leg, even if they get to lose, but not up to the ones that will, knock them out on aggregate. So for me, I think AS Roma playing at home in front of their fans, I think they are going to add more, compound the woes of Villarreal, add to what they've scored at the Madriga. Then Manchester United, I think as well, even if they have to concede, it will be more than the 1 or 2, to get to the next round. Then, of course, AS Roma also, as I said before, they are going to add to their own. Then Olympic Lyon playing in front of their own fans in France. I think they are going to add to what they did to AZ Alkmaar yesterday. So it was fantastic yesterday. Shocking results and fantastic results and good play from some of the players. But Athletic Club Bilbao getting to win that game 3-2 yesterday, I think they need to do something. Really, they need to up their game by the time they travel to Cyprus to play Apoel Nicosia, because Apoel Nicosia at home, they are a good side, no doubt about that. They have very, very good play in front of their fans. So if they get to beat Athletic Bilbao just 1-0, I think that will take them through to be 3-3 on aggregate, and the way goes, that will take them through. And also for Schalke 4, good one for them yesterday, winning 3 goals from home and going back to Germany to round up the game. I think they are already through in that encounter. So fantastic one, and I think some of those teams can start, looking elsewhere in other competitions than focusing on the UEFA Europa League.
Okay. All right. Moving away from Europe, let's really come down home and take a look at the fixtures of matches this weekend as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned. Abi Warriors will be at home at Umuahia Township Stadium where they play host to Economic Warriors. Casino United at the Muhammadu Diko Stadium will play host to Shooting Stars. Then Nasru United at the Lafayette Township Stadium will be home against visiting Sunshine Stars. Plateau United, surprise league leaders, will trade tackles with Niger Tornadoes at the Wampan Stadium. Then Rangers International were supposed to play against Kano Pillars, so because of their continental involvement, that game also has been postponed. Then Aigbekan International were supposed to play a game against FC Fayumba. FC Fayumba, they've already left the shores of Nigeria down to Egypt, so good enough. We'll talk about that just immediately after this. Of course, that game as well has been postponed. Then, of course, Remo Stars will be home at the Otumba Depot Dana International Stadium against visiting Lobby Stars. Then, of course, Wiki Torres also engage at the continental level, so MFN's game also being postponed. The same with Rivers United against ABS FC. They were supposed to be playing at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium, so that game also has been postponed. Then the other game that should go on this weekend will be against Gombe United at home at the Pantami Stadium against Aqua United. So those are the football fixtures for you as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned this weekend. Now, I just made a mention of FC Fayumba traveling early to acclimatize themselves to the weather condition right there in Egypt against El Masri. Now, I think this is something fantastic. We're getting to hear from a Nigerian football club. I mean, recently, some couple of seasons ago, we talked about the teams arriving just a couple of hours to a match day, maybe a day to match day and stuff like that, but leaving for a game that is built for this weekend as at yesterday. I think this should serve as an example to every other football club, both in the Nigerian Professional Football League, in the Nigerian National League, and of course the Nationwide League as well, that this is how to do things. And if you want to get anything, encourage the boys to give you what you are expecting from them. This is the way to go.
Yeah, good one for FC Fayumba. They are debutants in the CAF Confederations Cup, and for them to travel all the way to Egypt to acclimatize to the weather conditions. Over there it's really, really cold.
It is.
And you know how their fans, how they are.
They can be so hostile.
They can be so hostile.
Yeah.
They can do everything to ensure that, you don't get what you came there to, to get. So for me, I think it's good. And it is also good that you have, a top financier, financing a club. Look at what Dr. Patrick Ifeanyuba, did by flying the boys out on Thursday to ensure that by Sunday they will be fresh and they'll be ready to take on Al Masry, knowing full well that their fans will try as much as possible to intimidate them. And they also went with a 75 supporters, to give them support over there. But it's going to be difficult, Francis, because Al Masry, they are very, very experienced. I think they've won about 22 competition cups, in different competitions, both in Egypt, and outside. And at the time they were finalists in 2002, or thereabouts. So they are much more experienced than FC Ifeanyuba. But sometimes you need to take statistics out of it by the time you take to the pitch, because it's 90 minutes that decides what really happens. But for the owner to fly them out yesterday to ensure that they get what they really relax, and get prepared for the team, I think that's really good, because we've seen clubs, arriving at the venue a day before, and before you know it, they'll be fatigued and all that, and they won't give their best, and they'll start telling you we did not leave on time and all that. So I must give kudos to FC Fayumba, but I think state governments can as well borrow a leaf from this and ensure that each time any state-sponsored football team who is playing in the CAF Champions League or CAF Confederations Cup, I think they have to fly them out on time, get them prepared in order for them to expect results. You cannot be playing on Sunday and you arrive the venue on Saturday, and Sunday evening you want to give your best playing against the home team. Come on, it's not done anywhere. So for me, I think it's good for FC Yuba, and the fact that they also have players from other countries like Cameroon. The guy that scored their goal at Newe, Tame Medrano, yeah, he's a Cameroonian. They've got Brazilians, they've got players from Ivory Coast as well. So I think getting to acclimatize and train for like a day or two will help them to get the needed result. But all the same, I think that one goal, I don't think it was enough for them at. In a way, if they had scored like 2-3 goals, it would have been better. But all the same, they can as well get what Rangers International got from their away game, playing 1-1 with JS Aura. So if they can as well raise their game and fix their host, with all determination and all approach that game with all seriousness, I think at the end of the day, it could be 1-1, it could be 1-1, and it could be 1-0 in favor of FC Ifeanyi. So anything can happen in football. All the same, we are just wishing them all the best and hoping that they return back from Egypt with good news that yes, they have progressed to the group stage. So I wish them good luck.
Mm-hmm. Okay, as well, JS Sora for Algeria and AS Bamako of Mali have both confirmed they would arrive Nigeria today for this weekend CAF Champions League preliminary round second leg fixture in Enugu and Port Harcourt respectively. The Nigerian Professional Football League champions Rangers International will host the Algerian side at the Unas Azikiwe Stadium Enugu, while Rivers United will play host to their Malian counterpart at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Port Harcourt. Both games expected to kick off at 4 p.m. Nigerian time on Sunday. Rangers head sour to a 1-0 draw in the first leg and a goalless draw or a win for the host, talking about Rangers International in Enugu, will ensure they pass through to the next round. Rivers United must beat Bamako to reach the next round of the championship after a goalless first leg last weekend. In separate letters from the two clubs, two Nigerian teams confirmed the arrival of their visitors scheduled for Friday night from their respective countries. I think that's also good.
Yeah, but Francis, talking about Rivers United and Real Bamako, I think Rivers United really need to up their game instant for them to get through to the next round. Because I remember in 2004, AS Real Bamako defeated Enyimba International home and away in this same competition. And then they have two players with Rivers United right now who were former players of Enyimba International then, talking about Maxine Ojobo and...
was it Rivers United then? Were they called Rivers United then?
No, they are Rivers United. I think
Dolphins,
Dolphins. Mm-hmm. Then two players, Maxine Ojobo and also Nena and Anazemena, who are right now playing for Rivers. They were part of Enyimba squad who lost home and away to Real Bamako then. So this time around, I think with the guys in the squad, they can as well give them insights, give them more tell them more about the Malian counterparts pertaining to the game. So I just hope that they do all their work. I know that the governor, Nyesom Wike, gave big support to them when they traveled out last week, and while playing at home, I know the stadium will be free to capacity, and they'll be cheering for Rivers United to ensure that they get the win and move to the next round. They have good players. Don't forget they have a Ivorian striker, Guy Kweman, who has so far scored 2 league goals this season. Though he's complaining that his goals rate is too it's not encouraging to him. But I just hope that he can shoulder the responsibility and ensure that they get the maximum win over the AS Bamako and move to the next round.
Okay. All right. Still talking football. Let's quickly inform you that struggling English Championship side Blackburn Rovers WRP against the decision of the English FA to refuse Nigerian defender Efe Ambrose a work permit. Now, according to reports in the Sun newspaper in England, the Nigerian defender has had his application for a work permit rejected because he hasn't played in sufficient number of international matches for Nigeria as the rules stipulate. The 28-year-old defender contract with the Scottish Giants said he will finish this summer. Now the English Championship side will make an appeal against decision to the FA. If the appeal is unsuccessful, Ambrose will see out the remainder of his contract ascetic. So it's very important you play international matches. so that things like this will not affect you when you want to move from one club to another. Right now, he's not getting time at Celtic. He wants to move on and play in England against Blackburn, and of course, because of the kind of I think it's about 70% thereabout. You have to play for your country before you can move from one club to another. I mean, something like this happened to Aigbekan some couple of years ago when he was leaving. Was he Portsmouth now or Middlesbrough down to Everton, and of course he had this complication and other stuff, but his own was actually sorted out, and then he went on with his football with the Toffees. Now, quickly, let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend. In England, first, the FA Cup is consigned. Burnley will be at home at the Turf Moor against Lincoln City. Meanwhile, against Leicester City, all games at the Dean Stadium. These matches I'm calling out will be for tomorrow. Middlesbrough at the Riverside against Oxford United. Huddersfield Town against Manchester City at the John Smith Stadium, while Wolverhampton Wanderers will be home against Chelsea. Now,
we have to spy those players there.
Yeah, you can't beat Liverpool and get to be drawn in the fifth round of the FA Cup with the Chelsea. I mean, they should have just allowed Liverpool go on. I mean, their reward for their effective victory against Liverpool at Anfield was a draw against Chelsea. Yes, Paul Lambert, one of those coaches that could make a difference anytime. Against Norwich City, when he was with Norwich City, he did very well, but his last job with Aston Villa was really nothing to write home about. Now he's with Wolverhampton Wanderers in the Championship. Yes, they conquered at Anfield against Liverpool, but can they stop the driving force of Chelsea right now? I mean, whether you play a Diego Costa or Eden Hazard, anybody coming on board is good enough to score goals, is good enough to be match winner, and it's going to be difficult for Wolverhampton Wanderers, obviously. Then Fulham on Sunday will trade tackles with Tottenham Hotspur right there at the Craven Cottage, while at the Ewood Park will be the turn of Blackburn Rovers against Manchester United. On Sunday, the Southampton United already celebrating it already, getting to the fifth round. I mean, if we go all to the cable network right now, sport cable channels, you see Southampton United celebrating this in the fifth round of the FA Cup, and they are playing against Arsenal. Now, Arsenal fans, don't get it twisted. They are not celebrating because they feel that they can beat Arsenal. They are celebrating the fact that we are able to get to the fifth round of the FA Cup. Plus, they are playing against a very, very strong club. It means that it will be a sellout for them. They sold all their tickets for the match. Both the home fans and the away fans have bought the tickets, and that's enough big money for them. And they are also going to get their match being broadcast. And of course, this is something they are celebrating. I mean, when was the last time you watched a Southampton United match?
Well, I think it's massive for Southampton United. They can as well celebrate. And for Arsenal have to be very, very careful because these are also giant killers as well as Lincoln. Also, they are also giant killers. But all the same, I think Arsenal has the personnel to win at Southampton United and move to the next round. So even the loss yesterday to 2 days ago to Bayern Munich, I think that will be the driving force for Arsenal to go down to Southampton United and get the job done easily. Though when it comes to FA Cups, it's not really easy because the clubs we are going to play, you don't understand them. They play different football, and maybe, sometimes they play in small stadium, have small capacity and all that. So, and their type of football, before you get to understand them, it's the game is over. So take the case of Wolverhampton Wanderers and Liverpool, for example. For Wolverhampton Wanderers to move to Anfield and shock Liverpool at Anfield, that goes to show that the Championship football is really, really, difficult. Let alone a team that is playing the fourth tier, fifth tier. So I don't think the Arsenal have to take them for a ride. Just take them lightly. All they need to do is just play their best and ensure that they get the win at Sutton. They return back to England because they decide to underrate them. I think that will be they will get the shock of their life.
Okay, let's also inform you quickly, talking about Arsenal Football Club, that the agent of Mesut Ozil believe that they are making his client the scapegoat for the problems of Arsenal. Now, Ozil 28 was criticized again after Arsenal suffered a 5-1 defeat at Bayern Munich in Wednesday Champions League last 16 first leg. Now, in his way, criticism is normal if a player plays badly. But Mesut feels people are not focusing on his performance. They are using him as a scapegoat for the team after bad results. Is that true, Eghosa?
Well, I don't think that's true. Although, as an agent, you have to defend your
clients.
Your clients, yeah. But against Bayern Munich, everyone expected Ozil, who once played in the Bundesliga, to help shoulder the responsibility, give good performance in that game. But the midfield was so flat that they couldn't really give Bayern Munich a tough fight. Imagine a team with Mesut Ozil in the heart of the midfield, conceding 3 goals, in 10 minutes. That's really, really bad. You can as well say the defenders.
Let's help them. It wasn't just 10 minutes; it was 10 and a half minutes. Let's help them a little. 10 minutes looks so bad. Let's have that.
Sometimes when you look at games like this, you will say the defense, was porous and all that. But when you lose your midfield, the moment you lose your midfield to your opponent, come on, the defenders have little or nothing to do. So that was really what happened. But I think with this criticism, we spur Ozil to do something great. But for the agent to start saying he's being made scapegoat, I don't think that's really true. I don't think it's true. He's not the only one in the team. And for Arsenal, I think after that loss, as a Wenger, we need to shoulder some of the responsibility, take on some of the blame. The players also take on some of the blame. If each time they win, they all celebrate. Then each time they lose, I think they all have to take the blame. So for the agent to come out to say such, I don't think it's right, because criticism is part of the game.
All right, let's also tell you that Southampton have signed former Juventus and Barcelona defender Martin Karius until the end of the season. Now, in his words, he said, "I'm very happy to have signed for what is an important club in England and in English football." The 29-year-old, who has not played a game for over a year, of all the options that I had, I think that the best option for me was to come to Southampton. Now, they are signing him to cover up their captain, Van Dijk, who actually has been ruled out for up to 3 months. To me, that's like the end of the season.
Yeah, due to ankle injury. And Van Dijk is an experienced player. But for Caceres, I think he's really experienced, because I've watched him play for Barcelona, then he helped them to win the UEFA Champions League and also La Liga. He also had a spell with Sevilla, and ever since he arrived at Juventus, he has won 4 Serie A titles with them, and he has made 77 appearances. So for somebody like this coming to Southampton, to cover up for Virgil van Dijk, I think that is really, really great for the for the player. He's 29 and he still have a lot in him. Don't forget also, he was part of the Uruguay team that defeated England in the 2014 World Cup. So kudos to him. I just hope that he can continue to play and give his best, because for someone who has not played for over 1 year, he really needs to up his game, train, and get ready for the championship, English Premiership, because it's really, really difficult in England compared to Spain and to Italy.
Okay, he has had 68 caps for Uruguay, like Eghosa just said. Okay, Eghosa, let's go to Spain. Let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend.
Yeah, the fixtures for this weekend: Granada will be home to Real Betis. That will be the only game today. Then tomorrow, Saturday, there will be a couple of games. Sporting Gijon will entertain Atletico Madrid, while Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu will play host to Espanyol. Deportivo La Corona will entertain Deportivo Alaves, a battle of the Deportivo, while Sevilla will be home to Eibar. Then on Sunday, Real Sociedad will entertain Villarreal. Valencia will trade tackles with Athletic Club Bilbao. Celta de Vigo will be home to Osasuna. Then while Barcelona at Camp Nou will play host to newly promoted Leganés. Then on Monday, Malaga will trade tackles with Las Palmas. These are the games for Spanish La Liga.
Of course, don't forget that Real Madrid, with 2 games in hand, they are still top of the La Liga table with a point above closest rivals right now, Barcelona. Barcelona themselves will be looking forward to this weekend's game against Leganés, because
they need to bounce back from what happened.
Fatigue defeats at the ends of Paris Saint-Germain.
Yeah, sure.
Never saw it coming. Trust me, if you had asked me to predict that game, I would have given that at least a close call, Barcelona winning or a draw. But focus today. Let's move on.
Against Leganés, they might spell Leganés with goals, just the same way they did to Alaves, out of frustration, because this time around they are not really, really happy at all because of what happened.
All right, let's go over to the German Bundesliga now.
Okay, in the German Bundesliga, Augsburg we entertain Bayer Leverkusen. That will be the only game for today. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Eintracht Frankfurt Frankfurt will be at home to Ingolstadt, while Offenham will face Darmstadt. Hertha Berlin will entertain Bayern Munich. Mainz 05 will trade tackles with Werder Bremen. Borussia Dortmund versus Wolfsburg. Hamburger SV will trade tackles with Freiburg. Then on Sunday, Borussia Mönchengladbach will trade tackles with Red Bull Leipzig, while FC Cologne will entertain Schalke 04. These are the games for the German Bundesliga.
All right, we're in Italian Serie A. Juventus one game today against Palermo. Then on Saturday, we'll see Atalanta against Crotone. Then Empoli will be home against visiting Lazio. On Sunday, we'll see Bologna against Internazionale. Better so you can call them Inter Milan. Sampdoria will be at home against Cagliari. Then Pescara will trade tackles with Genoa. Elsewhere, Chievo Verona will be home against Napoli. Udinese will entertain Sassuolo. AS Roma did very well last night against Villarreal. 4 goals to 0. They won that game and the Zico superstar scored an hat-trick. It will be home, but this time against Joe Hart's team.
Yeah,
Torino.
And
Doing
very well side with Andrea Bellotti.
Yeah, they're doing very well. So it's certainly going to be an interesting game. Then AC Milan, after 4 consecutive defeats, they were able to bounce back in the last couple of weeks. At their best form, I have a 1/2 probability on that at the San Siro Stadium. They'll be at home against informed Fiorentina. Fiorentina went away last night against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and they got a 1-0 victory in the first leg of the round of 32. So they are very, very happy now. Confidence is high right there in camp of Fiorentina. So those are the games for you as far as the Italian Serie A is concerned. Now, I'm having problems with AC Milan. At a point in the season, they were third. Then they became fourth. Now, they are not even the Europa League teams right now. As it stands right now, if the season should end right now, AC Milan will qualify for any European tournament next season.
Yeah, but the season hasn't ended. The season is still on, and right now they need to make amends. If they get to win this game against Fiorentina, I think that will still take them off the table a little. And if you look at it, it's AS Roma that is right behind the champions and league leaders Juventus. But if not for the consecutive defeats that they had in the previous weeks, I don't think they will be where they are right now. But having won their last weekend game, and if they get to win against informed Fiorentina, then pick up 1 or 2, 3 wins, in a stretch, I think that will shoot them to at least third, second, close to AC Milan, Roma, or at least third on the log. So I hope it's not lost for AC Milan, and I just hope that they get the victory over Fiorentina, because this is a big game in Italian Serie A.
All right, let's go back to the French league now. Let's take a look at the fixtures for this weekend. Starting from today, Bastia will trade tackle with AS Roma.
AS Monaco, yeah.
AS Monaco, I beg your pardon.
Tomorrow, Saturday, Olympique Marseille will be home to visiting Rennes. Metz will trade tackles with Nantes. Caen will entertain Lille, while Angers will face Nancy. Then Lorient will be at home to OGC Nice. Then on Sunday, Bordeaux will entertain Guingamp. Olympique Lyon, 0-1, 4-1 from home yesterday against ASZ Alkmaar, will be home to newly promoted Dijon, while Montpellier will trade tackles with Saint-Etienne, who lost 3-0 to Manchester United yesterday. Then Paris Saint-Germain will entertain Toulouse. These are the games that we'll see in the French Ligue 1.
I'm just wondering right now how they are feeling at the Parc des Princes after beating Barcelona 4 goals to 0. Toulouse, trust me, you are in for a 3. If you can, they can't beat Barcelona 4 goals to 0.
Yeah.
They can beat you close to 6. Anyway, football is not always like that. You just find teams winning today, tomorrow they just lose candelously, and you'll be asking yourself, whether not just that team that won against a very good team just the other time. That's football for you. Anyway, let's take a pause from football. If there's still enough time, we'll come back to it, trust me. Now let's go straight to boxing now. We have my favorite boxer as we speak right now on planet Earth anywhere, Anthony Joshua, has said that he won't be world best until he unifies the heavyweight division. Remember, right now he is currently the holder of the IBF heavyweight title, and he's to contest against Ukraine's Vladimir Klitschko at the new Wembley Stadium on the 29th of April with the vacant WBA title also online on that particular day. If he gets to the beat Klitschko, who's currently 40 years old, will be missing the WBC and WBO titles. And now he is looking ahead that if I can't get this, then I can go for a WBC and the WBO?
Well, for Anthony Joshua, I think he has all it takes, to win this fight against Vladimir Klitschko. Though he's younger than Klitschko, but Klitschko is more experienced. But for someone who has fought 18 times and he has 18 knockouts, I think that's going to show that he's ready for the big fight. Don't forget, both of them have won Olympic. They've been Olympic champion in their careers. So for Anthony Joshua, I think all he needs to do is to keep training and keep preparing for the big fight against Vladimir Klitschko. And as well as, if he gets to win this, then I think he will get ready for the WBC. And also, if he gets to win that, at the end of the day, don't be surprised that in the couple of nearest future, maybe a couple of 4-5 years, Anthony Joshua will hold maybe all the 4 belts. I never can tell, but from what we've seen from his all his professional fights, I think he has all it takes to be the best fighter in the world when it comes to boxing. So I wish him all the best. All he needs to do is to keep on practicing, keep on training, because right now, I think it's
fantastic.
It's going to be a sold-out stadium, in Wembley.
It's already a sold-out stadium. Tickets are already...
Even the first of all,
I think go now. Do you have any tickets?
Yeah, I think first they sold 80, outside. Then they added 10,000 tickets. Wow, it's going to be fantastic. One of the great
biggest fight of our time.
Fights, I'll be watching on that day, live and direct. So I give.
You're traveling to London now?
I'm not traveling to London, but wherever I'm going to follow up that.
All right, just joking with you, just playing with you, Eghosa. All right, there were just 2 games played yesterday as far as basketball is concerned. Indiana Pacers lost their game to Washington Wizards, 111 to 98 points. At the end of the yesterday, the Washington Wizards, they were just ruthless. I mean, they at a point, it looked as if the Indiana Pacers were going to get something from it, but the Wizards just got the game in their hands. They were so confident. They were 3-pointers, 2-pointers here and there. It was just fantastic. Their point guard and all that, they were just good yesterday. They had the game all wrapped up in the 4th quarter. So kudos to Washington Wizards. Then as well, Chicago Bulls narrowly. Now this was a close call. They had
too close.
Yeah, they had to dig deep against Boston Celtics last night. I mean, at a point, I almost handed the game to the Boston Celtics, but when you are too complacent in certain things that you do, feeling that you've already had the game when it's not yet over. I mean, that was what happened to Boston Celtics. They actually gave a good fight to the home team, Chicago Bulls. They themselves, Chicago Bulls, played very well. I would not take that from them. I mean, at the end of the day, they were down. They were down by 2 points, talking about the home team. And just that 3-pointers at the last stage before you heard a pan out. Before you heard that sound, that 3-pointers just gave them the victory. And of course, they went ahead to win that game, 104 to 103 points. I mean, I enjoyed this game better than that game of Washington Wizards. Not to take anything away from Washington Wizards and Indiana Pacers, but it was just too easy, At the point before the end of the 4th quarter, you already knew that Washington Wizards, they were going to go home celebrating that they won their game at home. But in a game of Chicago Bulls and Boston Celtics, it was a close call. I mean, it wasn't that easy for Chicago Bulls to just go home with that victory. They were leading at the point, but they took their leg off the pedal, and Boston Celtics came to the game. At the point, we're already giving out, to me, if I was just going to put my money to it at that particular time, I would have given to Boston Celtics the way they played. They had a very good game, but at the end of the day, they couldn't really do much, and they lost 104 to 103 points. Yes, they could have stood them. They did very well, and that's one way to go. Okay, still on the show this wonderful, wonderful Friday morning, where we are looking at the fixtures this weekend. Now let's come back to football, Eghosa. Let's focus on the Nigerian teams participating in the continental competition. Yeah. Now, Rangers International only need a goalless draw for them to be through. But can they do it against JS Saoura of Algeria? We know this club. This club side, they are good. They have, yes, they might have drawn 1-1 against Rangers International, which was very good for Rangers International. To me, I was very, very impressed with them with that outcome over last weekend. Now, JS Saoura is a team that can come to your house and score goals as well. They believe one thing, if you follow them all through, that they can also win you in their own house. I mean, last time out, Eimba had to dig deep to even get to the group stage of the CAF Champions League, and at the end of the day, they lost the game at home. Right down here in Nigeria, and it was a little bit bad for us because of that result they had at home. Now, can Rangers keep their cool, their nerves, and with Imam Mapakabo there, do you see them winning this weekend and Sunday, to be very, very precise?
Well, I think Rangers International has all it takes to win that game because they had one of the most experienced teams, when it comes to continental, the CAF Champions League. They've been finalists, they've been semi-finalists, though they've not won it like Enyimba International did in 2003, 2004. They did it back to back. But for Rangers, who last played in the CAF Champions League in 2013, and that was when they last played. So I think right now, playing in front of their home fans at the Cathedral haven't gone away to get a desired result, a one-off draw. I think they have all it takes to get past JS Saura. Though they are not doing well in the Nigerian Professional Football League right now. I think they are 17 or 18th on the log, though they have about 2 games in hand. Haven't had to play home and away against Saura. So for me, all they need to do is to channel all their attention, channel all they had to ensure that they get that win and progress to the next stage. It's about where aggregate scores. It's not something that will get on point until they get to the group stage. So a goalless draw for them will be okay for them. And with players like Bobby Clement, who got the equalizer for them 7 minutes after the Algerian side scored their first goal, I think they will be in fine form. Chisom Egbusulam as well. A couple of other players, Osa Sokoro is also in the team, and they also have Fortune Omoniwari, who did not travel with them, but he might have the chance to play. And with a coach like Mama Bakabo, who has who have been doing well, who was fantastic last season, helping them to win the MPFL. I think all they need to just do is just to prepare very well and ensure that the fans comes out en masse to support them, and with the stadium fit to capacity and they play their fantastic football. Come on, I think the Algerians should be sent packing out of this competition by reigning champions Rangers International.
Trust me, at the Cathedral, fans always go out there to support their fans. So Sunday by 4 p.m., we're calling on all Nigerians to divide themselves. One at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium for Rivers United. I've got the other half for Rangers International, and of course Wicked Theories and all that. So let's just go out there and support our team, our teams rather, and share them to victory. That at the end of this weekend we'll come back here Monday and celebrate Rangers International, Wicked Theories, Esinfa, who are currently in Egypt right now. They will also having their game this weekend on Sunday against MSU of Egypt. All the best to FC Fayuba, and of course 1-0 already. They are leading. They can do it. I believe a goalless draw should be more than enough for them to progress to the next round of the CAF Champions League, this CAF Confederations Cup rather, this season. All right, let's take a pause from us right now, Eghosa. Let's take the messages.
Okay, this one says, Eghosa, you would have said yes that you are traveling to watch the boxing match in London. You never can tell. Don't be surprised. Someone will just call you and say, let's go and watch this game in London. All right, thank you very much, brother. This one says, hello, sports professors. Please, I need you to recommend me a very strong detergent I can use to wash Arsenal from my system. I'm just so tired. Glory from Upper Mission Extension. Don't worry, Arsenal will bounce back. Good morning, KU Sports Ambassadors. For Chelsea, only God knows their stand. Top 4 is getting stronger for Man United, Tottenham, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. But for Man United, top 4 is sure. Oga Francis and Aigbekan is easy. 16 league games unbeaten in EPL. Up Mayu, Yari from. Okay, up Mayu. This is from General Osaze. Yeah, 16 league games unbeaten. It's not really easy. una dey do ojoro na only Man U win yesterday. Why una dey play Man U items and una no come play other team home like Roma, Schalke 04, Fiorentina, Anderlecht and Gent.
All right, when you're 36 years old and you can still score hat-trick for Manchester United, when you get to that level, I'll play your club anthem.
And he has well said Atletico Bilbao win their game yesterday. Why una not play all these club anthems? Now 6-6 una can't dey play. I feel bad.
Backward.
Okay. This one came from Gospel from Sapler Road. All right. This one says Sanchez, because it's 6. Wenger woke up in shock and asked as Robben scored the 6th goal. Sanchez replied, "No, it's 6 a.m. Off Zlatan, off Man United, Europa Cup on tour. On our mind, destiny from USA." This was a good morning, sports masters. Oga Francis, take them easy. 3 goals in 10 minutes or 10.5 minutes. Is there any difference? DSF from
no, just so that you understand that it wasn't just 10 minutes, a little bit more than 10 minutes. 10.5 minutes looks okay when you're talking about it. Okay, 10.5 minutes ago. So let's not forget that 10.5 minutes.
All right, this one says, good day, KU Sports gentlemen. I spoke about Bender Insurance via my SMS to your sports program. I'm happy because other fans also share their views about the state of Bender Insurance still in the lower division.
Yeah.
The government should do something that will enable Bender Insurance gain promotion to the MPFA. Up Chelsea, up Blues for life. Kevin Moses from Enya. I think Bender Insurance aligned their striker Peter Yamu was very good last season to leave for Sunshine Stars. Well, I hope they get a better replacement for that striker.
But the truth is, Eghosa, you can't really stop a player from leaving.
Yeah, from leaving.
Especially when you're not in the Apex League in your country.
Yeah, and besides having a team that give him the chance to really
so they can sell himself.
Yeah, sell himself.
But at the same time, I think it should be a big challenge to Bender Insurance, the government especially, to fund the club properly, not just about paying their salaries, about the kind of like Ben Ogbemudia according on our show yesterday in the evening, the media officer of Bender Insurance. I mean, there are all other things that you need to do. You need to get them back on track in terms of getting them a good boss, getting to match venues early enough, being with them as well as trying as much as they can that those foul play that we witnessed last season will not repeat itself this season, and making sure that things are done fairly and legally at the same time. Then at the end of the day, take off the team, ensure that they are able this particular time to get to the Nigerian Professional Football League. When you can get to the Nigerian Professional Football League, your best players will always stay with you because they know full well now that they are playing against Aigbekan International, playing against Rangers. Just imagine Rangers International, SC Fire coming down to the Samuel Egbomudia to play football
and
match.
You have scouts all over to see, to watch and see raw talents that they can as well polish.
So don't blame them in a hurry. Okay, go ahead, Eghosa, quickly.
It was a good morning, guys. The family of Pogba is so beautiful. I can say handsome. Oh my God, great win for United. Reality from Benin. Okay. Pogba, they have wonderful family. Oh, my Augusta Sports. Yesterday I predicted 3 goals for Man United. Francis did not believe me for my prediction. My Oga,
how did you see me to know I didn't
my Oga Ibrahim, mark my word. Man United go finish their 3rd or 2nd place. Name is promises from Ofunama, Egbema, Edo State, up Man United. Well, good that you are believing that Manchester United will finish 2nd or 3rd this season. Well, let me quickly search for new messages.
All right, let's a quick reminder there that you can actually watch us live on our YouTube channel. All you need to do is log on to YouTube, then you type KUFM, and of course, better you can just type in Sport Fiesta on 92.7 KUFM. You can get to watch us live, and of course, on our Facebook page, you can also get to watch us live on the show. And just in case you missed any part of the show, you can also go to these channels that I just gave out to you to watch the program over and over again, listen to us. So basically, we are all there for you to get to watch our show. And of course, when we also come back in the evening, we will also be live on these channels. You can get first time wherever you are to listen to us, watch our program anytime, anywhere, wherever you are, all over the world.
All right, this one say, please guys, what was the score line between Olympiacos and the Turkish team yesterday? Those from ECO. Okay, it was Olympiacos nil, Osman Lispo nil. It was a goalless draw between the two sides. This one say, Nadidu Ojoro. Okay, this one came before.
All right.
Please,
Eghosa?
guys, what was the score? I think same thing is repeating. Yeah.
All right, let's say the time is no longer our friend, and of course, if we have any other message, we'll be taking it.
Yeah, let me just quickly take this
okay?
before we sign out. This
All
one says, "Good AMD Oba and Isama Sports. I think Mourinho is bringing back United to the winning ways. Champions League all the way for United from Abdul United."
All right, let's go take the final whistle right now, Eghosa.
Every time I played against Saint-Etienne, with hard work, there has been a couple of goals. I have scored a couple of goals tonight, and hopefully I can do the same next week. Manchester United striker Zlatan Ibrahimovic speaking after his hat-trick helped Manchester United to a 3-0 win over Saint-Etienne in the UEFA Europa League round of the 32 first leg on Thursday. And that's the final whistle on Sports Fiesta this morning.
So that's how Ibrahimovic now tag as Zlatric, yeah. At Manchester United, Zlatric, they call him now. He's talking tough. Let's get to see how far United will go in the UEFA Europa League this time. All right, thank you so much for being a part of the show. I see the phone line blinking. We don't take calls these money, but you can reserve all these comments for later about 5:30 p.m. And of course, big thank you to you all that sent down SMS6. Trust me, when we come back, those who couldn't take right now, we'll be taking everything later today in the evening. Big thanks to you, my strike partner for today, Eghosa Aigbekan, the sports maestro. I am the sports spell is good. Sanofe Francis saying you have yourself a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye for now.
92.7 KUFM.